Hey friends. Well, I had to come back. It's still Saturday, but I wanted to get this panel off. I wanted to make a plan for the beginning of the week. So I cut this panel off. This is a side panel for my firewall, cowl, whatever, cowl side panel. The mystery is solved. Whenever I was checking this car out, just to kind of get an idea of what it's gonna take to get this car looking good. This was such a mystery to me. This seam right here, all along here, and this is the side of my cowl screen, right below the windshield. This is welded on. This is not like a Chevrolet Camaro where you can take the filler panel off. It's not like the Chevelles and the Trans Ams to where the hood goes all the way to the windshield and the cowl screen is underneath the hood. This is part of the cosmetic surface, the pretty part of the car, and it's welded to the car. Like I said earlier, this is a unitized car. But this was a real, this had me for a minute. I'm like, what in the world's going on? Did it get hit right here once upon a time? And they patched this in, which would not have been the right thing to do. But there was really no damage on the striker. Oh, I'm sorry, not striker, but the hinge pillar. Hinge pillar because our hinges mount to the car by this pillar right here, being the hinge pillar. This being the striker pillar, of course, because it's got the striker there for the door to strike and latch to. So back to the issue at hand. So I was wondering, what in the world would this repair be? Well, this mystery is solved. And I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but it's very important that you know this. So they cut that panel out to have access to stop a leak. My fresh air, whenever I turn my fresh air vent on the dash, this collar right here hooks to this fiberglass box, which is my heater. Core is in here, so it's either my heat or my fresh air comes from those vents. And depending on how you have your settings on your temperature switches up there on the dash, will open or close certain flaps. Some people call them gates. And you'll get your fresh air or recirculated air or heat. And it also, you've got a ductwork in there that puts the heat up to the defroster up onto the windshield. Anyway, this is what's destroyed this car. Not a lot of people know this. Maybe they do, but I'm just going to revise. This is silicone. So somebody cut a hole out of this filler panel or cowl vent panel, and they plugged this area up. There must have been a leak here, and they just plugged it full of silicone. Now, the silicone, guys, gals, silicone attracts moisture, okay? Look it up. This is not good. They make body seam sealers that don't have silicone in them that you want to use when you want to take care of a seam. Now, of course, this was wrong all the way around. They needed, to fix this properly. This foam rubber's probably deteriorated. I don't know when they had this problem, but remember, silicone promotes rust. Okay, so please don't use silicone as a seam sealer. Use it for a bathtub caulk. That's always going to have moisture around it. A lot of reasons to use silicone, but it's definitely not for metal. So just an FYI, I'll be back when this panel is fit and ready to weld.